Welcome to the Etihad Cargo Connections with 10 Furlongs magazine. I'm your host today, Aurelian Dremian. Today we have the pleasure of chatting with Daniel and Claire. Am I right? Just making sure. And your last name Kubler, right?
Yeah, Kubler.
Great.
Yeah.
The driving force behind Sarsen Farm. Join us as we delve into the thriving world of horse racing at Sarsen Farm, discussing the impressive progression in prize money winnings and getting exclusive insights into the talented Astro King. We'll also get a glimpse into Astro King's journey to the Neom Turf Cup in Saudi and hopefully other exciting plans on the horizon for Sarsen Farm. So Daniel, Claire, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, aren't we? It's wintertime here in England. Yeah, the team are all in good spirits despite the windy weather.
Having a, it's a quieter time of year for us, but there's still a few runners on the all-weather and, some exciting ones to look forward to and some nice horses that we're looking forward to next season, which is always the exciting thing at this time of year. You're sort of, what's coming, and this upcoming trip to Saudi with Astro King has obviously got everyone very excited.
Excellent. So let's get straight into it. And Daniel, how are things going at Sarsen Farm specifically?
Yeah, good. We had a really good season last year. It was our best ever year. So we've attracted some new clients, and we'll have our biggest team of horses that we've ever had to go to war with, so to speak, in the next season, which is really exciting, and maybe some more quality to the stock than there has been in the past, which is also really exciting. So yeah, there's a lot of sort of positivity around the place at the moment, and it's the kind of, all the dreams are very much alive at this time of year, and everyone's
that's very exciting.
trying to survive the less than exciting weather by looking forward to those sunny days, and hopefully winning some nice races in the summer.
I hope so, for sure. So you've made steady progresses, over the last few years, and your overall prize money winnings have really improved year after year. What would you put that progression down to, and how do you ensure that it continues? And I'll ask Claire on this one.
Yeah, it's been a number of reasons, I guess. I mean, we're very fortunate now in England, you can do a joint license, so that's been really good. So we're both able to do it together. We've built Sarsen Farm, as you mentioned, so it's a brand new facility, and we've got to design it from scratch, taking into account horse health, that they're happy horses, they've all got windows to look out of, nice big stables, turnout for them. All those factors are so important to get the best out of the racehorses, and also a fantastic team. We've developed a great team over the years, and it's kind of all coming to fruition now, isn't it, Dan? And they all work really well together, and fantastic horsemen and women. We also bring in a more analytical angle, and we probably focused on that even more now. So I did a degree at Cambridge in physiology at university, and bringing that in really helps to understand the horse. Dan does a lot of research into podcasts and papers, just knowing the latest research as well, to get horses like Astro King and to help get the best out of them.
I suppose it's a very, horsemanship always comes first, but we try and inform that with a sort of extra layer and make more analytical decisions by bringing in a sort of, I suppose a very data-driven sports science type of approach to our training, which just gives us an extra advantage. And I think the equipment for doing that sort of thing is always improving all the time, and by trying to be on the forefront of that and talking to people all around the world to further our knowledge, so that we're on the cutting edge. And we talk to people in America, Australia, Japan, even some of the veterinarians from Northern Farm in Japan came and had a chat with us in September, which was really interesting. Just to see, because again, they're obviously, the Japanese racing is really coming forward now at the moment, and one of the exciting things about the Neom Cup is we'll be taking on hopefully a couple of Japanese horses, so it'd be interesting to see how the form relates, but also just to watch them and hopefully have the opportunity to talk horses with them. So
excellent. So it's very much a team effort in any cases. Great.
Yeah, I think horses are always a team effort. You know, everyone sees the jockey crossing the line on the track, but you know, there's been lots of people along the way to develop that horse to reach that. And you know, we're very much about the team and working well with our team. And you know, it's something that I suppose we've always focused on, you know, developing a good team and you know, really managing the people around the horses as well, because I think, you know, happy horses perform the best, and you know, happy horses are only there when you've got happy people working with them every day.
For sure. So let's discuss a little bit more about the talented Astro King. If we may, first of all, how is he doing, Daniel?
Yeah, great. You know, we've got sort of a couple of, this week's important now in his preparation. We've kind of, you know, we gave him a little bit of, he went to Bahrain in the autumn there, and he had a little bit of a break when he came home there just to freshen up with very much this sort of, you know, the Neom Cup, and there was a race here in England, and you know, there were kind of a couple of options at this point in the year, so we just gave him a few weeks, just very easy, and now we're building him back up, and he's got some important pieces of work coming up tomorrow morning and then on Saturday, and then we should be, you know, just about there. It's just the final finishing touches before he flies out.
Great. So you took over training him from the late great Sir Michael Stott. That must have come with some pressure, I would imagine. What is he like to train? Can I ask Claire?
He's an absolute pleasure to train. I probably like getting in a sports car, you know, for Mark to ride him at home. I think he just brings him joy every day. We bought him at the Horses in Training sale just over a year ago now. And like any horse that we get new into the yard, it's kind of understanding the horse, you know, what makes him tick, and tweaking everything. So whether it's the food, nutrition, the training style, you know, to bring out that optimum in the horse. And then going through his form, I mean, why we identified him in the first place, you know, with Sir Michael Stott, he showed exceptional talent, but obviously just lacked the consistency at times. And it's understanding those elements of the form to just take away, you know, like he tried 10 furlongs, but he was lame after one race. Another time was on soft ground. So you say, well, actually ignore them because he doesn't like soft ground. And once you do that, and we also do things like genetic testing, so you can work out the muscle type of the horse, and that really helped give us confidence to try the 10 furlongs, you know, and he's excelled again by having the right conditions over 10. You know, hopefully this year as well, we'll try 12 as well. When William Buick got off him last year after winning at the Ebor Festival, he was very keen that we should try that at some point. So that's kind of up our sleeve still. But for now, you know, there's lots of fantastic international opportunities for him, and it's very exciting for the whole team. Go.
How would you describe his personality, maybe in 3 words?
Relaxed.
Yeah, he's laid back, definitely. Okay. He's a horse that I suppose you don't really see how good he is from his demeanor, but actually when he gallops, it's kind of easy. And what's fascinating is with the analytics, how quickly he's able to recover from very testing pieces of work, and you know, the difference between him and that. But yeah, he's a pretty cool character. You know, and he's a very sort of
polo addict.
Yeah.
Carrots and polos.
Yeah. You know, and yeah, like, you know, he's
suave.
He kind of he's a nice horse to do things with, and you know, he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's very good. So we last saw him in Bahrain when he stepped up to, you know, a group company for the first time, and he certainly didn't look out of place. Were you pleased with that run?
Yeah, I mean, we were delighted. I was slightly frustrated in the moment because he was drawn 14 of 14 and kind of slightly half missed the break, but we were going to drop in anyway, so that wasn't so bad. But we got a nice trip round on the rails until we got into the home straight, and he needed a split to open, and it unfortunately never quite happened for him, and he kind of had Point Lonsdale falling back in his lap and nowhere to go. And you know, but the positives were really that he showed that he was, you know, definitely very competitive in those levels. And you know, when you watch the race back, and you know, you're always biased to your own horse, of course, but you know, other people all sort of said, you know, kind of, if you're going to take one horse to step forward from the race, he was definitely the sort of the most unlucky horse in the race. And you know, it probably wasn't enough to, win the race, but certainly would have been very close. And he showed he deserves to compete in that sort of class, and that's reassuring, because we were confident, and obviously he'd won at Cambridgeshire, which is a very good race to win here, coming in and showing that he would be more than competitive in that group, but to then actually step up into group company and do it, and come away like that, sort of gave us the confidence that aiming for these kind of races are it's worth having a go.
Definitely the confidence to know that there's more to come. Definitely. Great. Claire, we understand he could be heading to the Neom Turf Cup in Saudi. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so he flies out about a week before the race, and yeah, it should be good conditions for him. Hopefully it's quick ground. The 10 furlong should suit. We've got Richard Kingscote. He's going to go out. He obviously knows the horse well, and getting very experienced now at international racing. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. As Dan said earlier, to take on the international contenders is something, we always, we want to be on that kind of playing field with the best of the best in the world. We are very competitive as a whole team. We once did a psychology test amongst the whole team, and even the quiet people in our team were super competitive. And it's nice to have a horse of this caliber to actually get out there and compete, and also meet and talk to them and understand how they do things.
Sure.
You're always learning, which is what I love about the sport, and the fact it is international. We both spent time in California as assistant trainers. Dan spent a lot of time in France, Australia. So much. With so many opportunities, and it's just exciting to get out there and compete, and the prize money is exceptional.
Excellent. It's always good to learn from different aspects and different countries, and the competition itself, for sure, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Competition improves.
Yes, sorry.
Competition really improves you. Like, it really forces you to step up.
Exactly. What are your plans for Astro King's travel? For example, who goes with him, and when? Well, you did mention when he's going, but who's going with him and when?
So I think with the Saudi, that they very much sort of organise it all through BBA shipping.
Okay.
And so he'll fly out on the 17th, I believe, and they have specialist flying grooms. And then from our team, we'll fly out separately and meet the horse at the other end. That's the way these things are done.
Okay.
On the
same day?
Yeah, more or less. Sometimes they land there before or after. We leave the logistics to. Fortunately, we don't have to do too much of that organisation. It's kind of, we kind of say these are the people that need to go, and then they tell us which flights to take. So it's it's very well organised in that respect. And so we'll send out Mark Lawson, who rides him every day. So Mark, he rode a couple of 100 winners as a jockey. Started out here in England, but actually rode a lot abroad. Spent quite a lot of time in Bahrain and Qatar, and a little bit of time in Canada. So he's a very experienced rider. He, as I said, rides him home every day. And then we'll send out Tamsin Khan as well, who she does a lot of the travelling for us, and travelled with him to Bahrain as well, as did Mark. So you've got a couple of people to look after the horse and pair of hands around, and she knows him very well, and has ridden him when Mark's not around in the past. So you've got to cover all contingencies, I suppose. But yeah, so they took him out to Bahrain, and they did a great job out there, and we're very happy to send them out and kind of keep everything as close to what worked before, and they know the horse very well, so, and are both very experienced.
Very well. Claire, after that, do you plan to? What are the plans for Dubai? Do you plan to take him to Dubai after Saudi? And also, what about the rest of the year, once he's back?
Yeah, we'll make a decision after he's run, just to see how he competes against the field. If we are to win, then fantastic. Yeah, Dubai, definitely. On what an occasion to be aiming for. So there's a couple of opportunities for him there. Otherwise, back in England, Royal Ascot is obviously very much on the agenda. Probably go for the Wolverton Stakes. There has been hints that we have another rocking goal at John Smith's Cup, since we just got beat by a pixel on a photo. So you never know, we might have another go at that. But just on the international stage, there's so many fantastic opportunities. You know, even Woodbine later on in the year again, you know, he is an older horse, but we're also managing him, so he does have breaks after each of his runs. So yeah, there's just so many. It's exciting to have a horse of this caliber. We've just been doing our appraisals with each of our team, and everyone's now saying for the team goals, more international racing. So it's definitely raising the bar for us.
Excellent. Given, you know, this would be his second run in the Middle East, you must be quite impressed with what you're seeing over there at present. What are your thoughts, let's say, on the Middle East globally?
Well, I think it presents a great opportunity for horses from all over the world to kind of come together at that top level and compete. And, you know, obviously the prize money is excellent, which is, you know, it does play into these factors. They're very good at organising, you know, getting the horse there, and they provide top class facilities for the horses. Obviously, there's not much racing at that level in Europe at this time of year. So, you know, when you've got these horses and you can spread their runs out a little bit, and it suits a certain type of horse, and he, you know, the first time you travel a horse, you never really know. I mean, you have a pretty good feeling as to how they're going to take it, but if you've got a horse that can do it, and there are these opportunities and this kind of this program, and I think at the, you know, look, going forward into the future, we want to be able to compete consistently at the highest level, and you know, some of the highest level of racing is now these, you know, between Bahrain, Saudi, you know, the UAE, Dubai, that, you know, there's a whole series of good races out there. And so, you know, I think owners increasingly are looking to, you know, for that international challenge, and it fits in very well around the European season. So yeah, I think you know, it's probably to an extent the future of the sport. These international opportunities, wherever they may be, you know, the world's getting smaller for horses, and you know, the more travelled horses, you know, the more the competition comes in at that level. So yeah, I think that's really the appeal.
How would you describe the differences, you know, between racing in the UK versus maybe racing in the Middle East? But Claire?
In the Middle East, you know, when you're seeing it on the big stage, they are just the best horses that are competing, and it's great to have the turf tracks over there. You know, even in Saudi, yes, it'll take a lot more management for them to get good turf underfoot, but it's great because it does allow a different type of horse to be able to compete in those places on an international stage. And you know, in the UK as well, with Royal Ascot and all the big festival meetings, having Worldpool, it's all bringing together better investment for people to keep, you know, we're all in it to promote the sport, get more, you know, people attending the races and get to enjoy the horses. You know, that's what, you know, we started as racehorse trainers because of that love for the racehorse. They're so special and they're so exceptional. When you can drive alongside them, or you can see their heart rate data and see that athlete like Astro King, like that just gives you goosebumps when you see their recoveries like that. And yeah, I mean, to see other horses, we were very lucky. We got to see Zenyatta in America when we spent time out there, and you know, Winx came over to the UK, and yeah, it's just.
I think that sort of, yeah, international competition is it's very exciting for the sport, and you know, but all over the world to get up close to horses. And you know, the Middle East have done a great job of creating these opportunities for these horses to come together.
Definitely. All right, on to the final question. Are there any, you know, other horses from the farm we should be keeping an eye on this year? Daniel.
I think we've got a couple of 3-year-olds that we've have done very well over the winter that we're looking forward to. You know, whether they reach the heights of Astro King, you know, they'll have to keep developing and improving. We had a horse win a maiden at Kempton in November last year. He won by 4.5 lengths, called Bravo Zulu, who's a very exciting horse. And in fact, one of the guys who owns a leg of Astro King's got a leg of him. So he's got a really exciting few months coming up. So he won his nicely. He'll go for a novice next, and we'll see from there. But you know, he looks like a horse that, you know, we'd hope to be going to at least the Britannia at Royal Ascot, very good 3-year-old race there at Royal Ascot. But there's targets in between, and we'll see when we get him on the track. Probably, hopefully, in the middle of March, he'll make his return to action. We'll see what level he starts coming out at, but we've been pleased with his progress over the winter. He's just about to start fast work in preparation for that start. Just rounds last year for a little bit of experience. Very big horse by Blue Point called Arctic Dawn, who's been doing some very good work recently. And again, we're looking forward to seeing how he comes. How he comes when he gets to the track. But we've been encouraged with what he's been doing at home, and so he's another one that again we're still learning about him. The first job will be to win a maiden, and we'll go from there. But he looks like a horse that probably will start 6 furlongs, but he might stay a little bit further. He might get up to a mile. So again, it's the time will tell a little bit with him, but he looks very talented at the moment. And we've got some other nice horses to come forward with, and the 2-year-olds, it's all very early days for them, but we've got some nice 2-year-olds in there. We've got a half brother to a horse called Outgate who did very well for us before getting sold to Hong Kong. Outgate won 4 times for us and won some very valuable 3-year-old handicaps, and we were keen to test him in stakes company, but unfortunately the offer to go to Hong Kong was substantial, and it made sense for the owners to take that offer. But we've got a half brother to him who we've been pleased with, and called Grisdale. He's a 2-year-old. He would be more of a second half of the season 2-year-old. But we've been we've 2-year-olds are coming together nicely, and there's some well-bred horses in there, and some good-looking horses. So we'll find out how fast they can go when we start asking the question in a couple of months' time.
Excellent. You did mention one of the owners of Astro King. Actually, what are the owners like?
They're real fun, quite eclectic. So what we do a lot of is we buy a lot of horses. We go to the sales and we look for horses that we'd like to train, essentially. And with the yearlings, so we buy yearlings, or we buy horses in training with some form, and we look for certain angle. I mean, Claire explained sort of why we picked out Astro King earlier, but we'll do a lot of analysis of the form on those horses in training. And likewise, the yearlings, we do quite a lot of analysis, but we just spend a lot of time looking at a lot of horses and try and come up with, angles where, we don't go there with huge budgets. So we've kind of got to box a bit clever. And then so, we basically buy horses that we like, and, sometimes owners will come to us and give us order, but generally we're buying horses and then finding owners. So we put together syndicates and partnerships.
This one's a capture the moment, isn't it? So this is a more select 4 people's at 25% shares. The very first horse we actually bought for this syndicate was a horse called Il Paparazzi, and he won at York on his second start by a long way. So it's been a very lucky syndicate. He actually got sold to Hong Kong. There's been some very talented horses in this syndicate. Helm Rock last year, he won an awful lot of money as well. But they're a great bunch. They had a fantastic time out in Bahrain. Just sharing the journey with like-minded people is all part of the fun. And for them to have a horse of this caliber is very special. And to get invites out to top races, it's an honor. We're very proud of the horse, and they're obviously really enjoying the journey, and hopefully there's more to come.
Yeah, they formed great friendships together. They've got to know each other over. None of them had been involved with a horse with any of the others before Astro King, but they all took 4 guys took a leg in him, and they've got to know each other over the course of last season as he's gone to the races, and it helps they've had some great success and had some really good days, and they've shared a journey together, and the journey goes on, and I think they're looking forward to going to Saudi and then beyond, and we'll see where it all takes us. But it's been fun, and it'll be fun whatever the result, really. So
excellent. Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Thank you very much.